Okay, good morning, everyone. Um, Take three. It's going to be one of those days. You've had those days. So here we go. Third take. So I apologize for this coming out a little bit later. There's just things that keep popping up. So anyway, let's get into last night. It is Saturday, April 26th today, and we are looking back at a couple of big time playoff games. These felt like big time playoff games. Yeah, the first round kind of felt like we were still kind of eking in, but now we're really in the throes of it, and a couple of big time performances by a couple of teams. And yeah, we've got two games going on tonight, and one of them is just a little important. They both are really. But let's talk about this. Let's go to it was the second game last night, but I want to talk about Columbus and Carolina first because they already played in Columbus on Wednesday. So Carolina had their backs against the wall, hoping to hold serve at home, and they did. 4-1 victory by the Thunderbirds to even the series at one game apiece and send things to the all important win or go home game tonight. Now, tonight's game is going to be 6:05 puck drop. Carolina fans, you're used to this. This is your normal Saturday. For the rest of the league, everybody else, they're thinking 7 or 7:30 start. No, it's 6:05. So if you are a Columbus fan or a curious onlooker, um, you want to make sure you're tuning in at 6:05 tonight. Okay, talking about last night, Carolina took them a little bit to kind of get going. Both teams starting off a little bit on the slower side for the first period. Trevor Babin in goal for the Columbus River Dragons and Mario Cavallari in goal for the Thunderbirds. It's a rematch of the goaltenders from game one. All right. Um, Coach Harrison showing confidence in Mario. He's got two excellent goaltenders. He could have started Babin, but he chose to stick with Mario. And yeah, that seems to have paid off. All right, so I said the game kind of started a little slow. We got about halfway through the first period, and at that point, the shots were 6-1 in favor of Columbus. Carolina really out of sync offensively for the first few minutes, but then they kind of got things put together. By the time we got to the end of the period, the shots were 9-6 in favor of Columbus. And still, though, both defenses pretty tight. The offense, not so much. So 15 shots total between the two teams in the first period. We go to 37 total shots in the second period. Yeah, big opening up of the ice. And Carolina really took advantage of their home ice. They're familiar with it, obviously. They know all the little quirks and weird caroms and things that can happen in a game. And they started to take control, despite the fact that Babin was still playing very, very well, making some really big saves. But 8:34 of the second period on the power play, it's Peter Panicek scoring, and that kind of burst the dam open for the Thunderbirds. Gets Carolina on the board and kind of emboldened the offensive set for Carolina. They really got into it. They really took charge of this game. Now, Cavallari still had to stop 15 shots in this period. Played excellent on his end of the ice, and that gave Carolina the ability to be a little bit more aggressive with their offense. Nate Keeley scores at 14:01, which would be the game-winning goal. Of course, we didn't know at the time, but yeah, he puts Carolina up 2-0, and that's 3-0. It's Jan Salak. Just took an absolutely brilliant feed and stuffs it home. 16:04, and it is 3-0. Shots, the totals through 28 for the Thunderbirds and for the River Dragons 24. So into the third period we go. And yeah, Carolina continues their assault. It is Zach White on a breakaway as the middle of the ice really opened up for both teams. in this game. Zach White scores a 5:02, and it's 4-0. At this point, everybody in the building knows, okay, we've got this, but we still have to make sure we're playing sound defensive hockey in our zone. But the neutral zone, it was more like the neutral zone in Star Trek, where it's more of a suggestion and not an actual place. People just passing through there at will. Um, yeah, both teams able to carry the puck and skate with the puck really well. But Carolina, still getting shots on Babin. Cavallari still making saves, and it really, no results, even though there was a lot of room to skate um, into the offensive zones. It just, it didn't translate in the scoreboard like it did in the second for Carolina. So finally, Ryan Hunter scores at 17:30, more of a just a mental victory in a sense. Okay, we got one past Cavallari. The shutout's broken up, but that was pretty much it. So the final score in the game, 4-1. Carolina does send this to the deciding third game tonight. Shot totals in the game: Carolina 42, Columbus 35. For the game, of course, Hunter with the lone goal for the River Dragons. Jan Salak, a goal and 2 assists. Peter Panicek, a goal and an assist. Yuri Pastuka, 2 assists. These guys have been together since the second season of Carolina Thunderbirds hockey. They've been doing this a long time, and they carried the team once again. So Nate Keeley adding the game-winning goal. Meanwhile, Trevor Babin plays well, made several big saves. This loss isn't on him. 38 saves and 42 shots. Mario Cavallari stops 34 of 35. And there we go. Crowd of 2257 on hand. Pretty small for Carolina standards, but tonight the place is going to be packed. I can guarantee it. Again, Carolina is used to these early Saturday games, and they are going to be out and force. So if you haven't gotten a seat already, hopefully you still can. Get it early today. All right, so yep, that game will be again 6:05 tonight. I will be at the Binghamton game tonight, but I will have my laptop with me as I'm walking in the building. I will have the game on, watching on my tablet. So there you go. All right, speaking of Binghamton and Port Huron, yeah, quite a surprise. Not so much that Port Huron won the game, because Port Huron has been really excellent as of late. The last 25 games of the season, really, they just turned it up, and which that's nearly half the year. Binghamton, they were flat. I can't say that they were not flat, but Port Huron, very important key with this game as they go on to the 3-0 shutout. Port Huron, for all 60 minutes, they stuck to their game. They had a game plan coming in. They did not waver from it at all. They played sound, good hockey. When they were given opportunities, they took them. And Port Huron, a wonderful performance last night, 3-0 over the Black Bears. And this was again just a little bit of surprise, I guess you could say, that the Black Bears got shut out. Yeah, Port Huron shut them out. If any team in the league was going to do it, I think it was going to be either Athens or Port Huron. Binghamton crossed over the Athens hurdle. Port Huron, not an easy hurdle to get over. So let's talk about this. In the first period, pretty even, but it just seemed like the Prowlers offense was a little bit more in sync, a little bit more of a flow to their offense. Usually when Binghamton got into the offensive zone, it was kind of a one shot and done. Port Huron's carrying the puck out. Port Huron got some rebound chances. They got some second looks. And so they end up scoring at 11:20. It's Tyler Fox, and he puts the Prowlers up 1-0. Game-winning goal. Again, we didn't know that. Shots were 11-10 Binghamton for that first period. A really good crowd at McMorran Place. If you don't know, McMorran Place is not a big arena from a fan perspective. Um, Only seats about like 2,300. Over 2,000 in the crowd. The place was jumping. The place was loud. Um, I think both Brooks Hill and Will Wiggleman doing the play-by-play calls are probably a little hoarse this morning because they had to work the game. Let me tell you. All right, so we didn't have anything happen in the second. It was 9-9, but again, Port Huron, it was just continuing to stick with their game. They didn't do anything fancy. It was a very simplistic approach, and it's what was needed to beat the Black Bears. They did it very well. The drama came in not on the ice, not in the building, but on YouTube. About 15 minutes into the second period, there's a tussle. It's Brian Parsons and Austin Thompson getting in fisticuffs for the only fight of the night. And then, bam, Binghamton Channel is gone. Yep. Here we go again. So everyone immediately makes the jump onto the Port Huron Prowlers stream. At one point, there were 1,500 people watching. And Will Wiggleman was very kind to acknowledge everyone and just say, thank you for watching. Thank you for joining us. Really appreciate it. Will Wiggleman's one of the best. So anyway, we'll touch on that at the end of this with the whole YouTube situation. So third period, and Port Huron 6:46. It's Bobby Price scoring on a breakaway. Easy peasy for him. He shelves it over McAnanima's shoulder, and it is 2-0. Bobby Price is definitely going to be playing in a higher league next year. This guy is incredible. What a find by Matt Graham and Alex Johnson for the Prowlers. He is going to have an excellent hockey career and play well for as long as he wants to. Anyway, so Bobby Price, I'm gushing over him. Yes. All right. So 6:46, he scores. It's 2-0. That really was kind of the dagger. Everybody recognized. Oh, yeah. Binghamton fans are commenting in the YouTube chat. Ooh, that hurt. Yeah, it did. Finally, Connor McAnanima gets pulled, and who finds the net but Bobby Price. So yeah, 18:45, the time of that goal, it makes it 3-0, closes out the victory for the Prowlers. They take the all-important 1-0 lead into Binghamton for tonight's game. Binghamton's got their backs against the wall. They have not faced a deficit in 3 years. I take that back. They have never faced a playoff deficit. All right. Every year, Binghamton started off a series at least winning the first game, and then a couple of years they lost to Danbury, but it was a 3-game series. They've got their backs against the wall. So this is the first time that they are facing a true deficit in the playoffs in their history. Just occurred to me. Port Huron, they're looking to get themselves back into the finals. They have not been to the finals in 7 years. Of course, they won it all during their first year, 10-year history of the Port Huron Prowlers. One of the staple franchises for the FPHL. Yeah. Shots in this game, 32-30 at the end. Binghamton with the advantage, but it was Cooper coming off a 50-save performance in Danbury. Fantastic performance, and you could tell the confidence. You could just tell with the body language. Cooper had a ton of confidence going into this game. He was, he basically told his teammates, "I got this," and he did. 32 saves, and yet he gets the playoff shutout. Conor McAnanima stops 27-29 in 58-26 played. And it's the trying guys providing all the offense for the Prowlers. So, yep, 2 games again tonight. We'll reiterate Carolina, 6:05 tonight. Binghamton, 7 o'clock. All right. And you can call these both elimination games. So there you go. All right. Talking about the YouTube situation, because I want to touch on this, because I know a lot of people are worried. And understandably, I'm worried. I'm hoping that I can see the rest of the playoffs, regardless of what team is in it, regardless of how far things go. I'm hoping we can watch all the games. Um, so, I mean, obviously, I kind of depend on YouTube. So the Binghamton feed goes down. It's the 4th channel they've lost, and yeah, scratching their heads. I guess Brooks Hill ended up getting the game on his personal YouTube page for the last like 25 minutes played, but a lot of fans just ended up sticking with Port Huron, as I did, because I was like, I don't want to miss anything. I'd just rather stay here and watch the game. So, and like I said, besides that, I like Will. Um, for a very interesting thing that happened, and I just want to touch on this real quick. In the feed, a lot of other, well, I don't know about a lot of other, I think 2 or 3 other broadcasters ended up entering the chat and talking about the whole situation. And Jeff Barrett from the Watertown Wolves, Brett Wiseman from the Blue Ridge Bobcats, all talking about what's going on. And Brett Wiseman said there's already been talks and discussions with the league as far as what do we do about this whole situation. By the way, Blue Ridge's channel was permanently stripped during the day yesterday. Brett Wiseman went to go back some stuff up for his personal files, and lo and behold, his work is gone. So yeah, 4 teams. Monroe's account also deactivated, and what was the other team? Baton Rouge. I'm sorry. So there's 5 teams: Mississippi, Baton Rouge, Monroe, Blue Ridge, and Binghamton. Page is gone. So obviously, long term, YouTube is not a viable option. Hopefully, you Port Huron fans, hopefully the YouTube bots will not get the Port Huron page tonight. I hope and pray that it doesn't happen. Somehow, some way, Port Huron's been able to fly under the radar, so to speak, and so here's hoping. All right, but anyway, in discussions, Brett Wiseman mentioned a free streaming alternative will be in place for next year. They haven't decided what they're doing yet, but the only thing that's decided is the league understands having the games streamed for free is very, very, very important for the FPHL. And they want to continue to provide that for fans because it draws fans in. It draws fans to YouTube, and then it draws fans to the actual games in the arenas. So it has been a great marketing tool for the FPHL. Maybe that's why the YouTube's so upset, is because they recognize we're not getting in on this money. But nonetheless, there will be something in place when the season starts up in October. Something will be in place. All teams will be streaming for free. I'm not sure if that'll be Rumble or Twitch or Kick, or I don't know. That hasn't been decided yet, but you will not have to pay for streaming. That is the good news. Brett offered his assurances with that. And Jeff said, Jeff Barrett said, we're on Rumble right now. You know, I'm sure they'll see how things continue, whether they switch to another provider or if they stick to Rumble. Maybe that'll be the option that that the league will go with. But anyway, yeah. So the ban hammer has been coming down once again. Very unfortunate. That's the lone dark spot, really, for the playoffs for the FPHL this year. But anyway, so I just want to talk about that and give you assurances that there will be a free alternative next season. All right, I'm going to end this. I've gone on too long. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're following me on Facebook. That's the most important place, the Fed League Flash. And also, you can check me out on the Flash Audio Network. Although I'm starting to ramp that down, I will have broadcasts on the Flash Audio Network this next week on Monday and Thursday. So that'll be it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful Saturday. Enjoy the games tonight, and we'll talk to you again soon.